My client was fasting. She was weight training. She finally got into lifting the weights. It made her gain 40 pounds over 2 years. She was at a loss. Then I told her to do this. She dropped 19 pounds in just 3 months. Here's what happened. So most midlife women, they are following this outdated advice. They're eating less. They're trying more cardio. They're focused on calories, right? It's all about the calories. If you feel lost and confused and out of control with your body, you're not crazy. You're just missing what your body is asking of you. Okay? And when you know how to decode the signs and symptoms that your body is giving you, everything gets a lot easier. You finally see results of your workouts. The inches come off. You feel empowered. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Shay Pascal. I am a functional nutrition practitioner. I help midlife women who are constipated, tired, can't lose a pound, not seeing results of their workouts, despite trying everything, all the things that are, supposed to work, and finally get their bodies to respond again. So if you feel lost as to what's going on with your body, I'm going to help you decode what your body actually needs. So if you're into that kind of thing, make sure to subscribe and like this video so I know if you like this kind of stuff, if you like me to create this kind of content. And then also make sure to share this with anyone you know who might struggle in this area, because we need to get this information out there and people to stop struggling. That is my goal. So her cardio plan depleted her. Her fasting backfired, and she started weight training. She gained 40 pounds in this 2-year time. So what the heck happened? This is what I'd actually call more of a rapid weight gain case study. But within 10 minutes of reviewing her intake forms, I actually knew exactly what we needed to shift. And she went on to lose 19 pounds in 90 days. But what's really killer, she was able to get off some of her medication for her autoimmune disease. So let's walk through about, why you might be putting weight on even though you're exercising. And there's a few key areas here that I want you to really kind of learn about. So if you started exercising, especially if it's weight training or muscle centric, as I would say, you're lifting weights, that type of thing, you're now taxing your muscles, okay? And you're not giving them potentially the right fuel or raw materials. And your body, your muscles specifically, they're looking to repair themselves, right? You know how you feel sore after doing some, shoulder presses or something like that, or some squats, you feel sore. That's your body being, that's an adaptation response. It's a good thing. It's meaning it's working. Your muscle, your workouts are working. But if you're not seeing results or the weight's going up, that means you're not fueling your body properly. It means you're not giving yourself the right nutrition to help create the magic of getting leaner. That's what you really want, right? You really want to get leaner. So say you are eating whatever you had normally eaten before, it's probably not going to cut it when you're weight training. You need to give your body the right amounts of protein, carbs, and fats, as well as healthy micronutrients and fiber and stuff like that, of course. But muscle requires more protein. It just does. So your protein needs to go up, and your carbs probably maybe need to go up depending on how many you were eating before, or the type of carbs you were eating potentially might need to shift. But these are the two things that are going to repair your muscle and build it. And if you don't do that, you're going to end up pulling from other lean tissue to repair the tissue that you've kind of just broken down in your training in a good way, okay? So we put this stress on the muscle, but then we don't give it what it needs to repair itself. It's going to pull from somewhere else. You're on a vicious hamster wheel of I'm just always hungry and I'm only gaining weight, and you're never actually building muscle. So you're never increasing your metabolism. So you're never going anywhere. It's a very, very frustrating place to be. I've been there. Almost every one of my clients is right there. But when we get the nutrition on board, everything shifts. Now, this is why fasting might actually backfire for you here. So if you've been fasting thinking I just need to lower my calories, I need to eat less or less often, if you're doing that kind of thing and you're noticing the weight is going up because you started weight training or started exercising more, it's because of what I just mentioned. You're not giving yourself the raw materials, and on top of that, you're adding a stress component to your nutrition plan, because essentially while you're fasting, that is a stress on the body. So that is going to increase cortisol, our stress hormone. And that is specifically linked to midsection belly fat. So if you're like, okay, why am I increasing my circumference around my waist here when I've been weight training? I'm supposed to be decreasing it. Well, it comes back to your nutrition. Macros works so much better than fasting. If you want to fast for 12 hours a day, like stop eating at 9 p.m. or 8 p.m., somewhere in there, and don't eat for 12 hours later overnight, I'm fine with that. But if you're doing those like 16-8, 24 hours a day, 23 hours a day, those kinds of fasts, that's probably not going to work for you as well as you think, especially as a midlife woman. Number 3 is when, this is more of a case study, is when what I first implemented with this client that I was mentioning earlier who gained the 40 pounds. The first thing I implemented with her was to help her drop fat and preserve her muscles so that she could drop about 10 inches within her first about 6 weeks. What I did for her specifically was I used macros, so protein, carbs, and fat, and I programmed how many she needed specifically for her body. And then we went through what's called a reverse diet, okay? If you've started exercising, this might be like the missing tool in your toolbox to actually finally see results of your workouts. It certainly was for me. And when I went through a reverse diet, I started around 1,800 to 2,000 calories a day, and I slowly worked my way up to about 23 to 2,500 a day, depending on how perfect I was with that. But the goal was to get to 2,500, and it was probably on average 2,400 calories per day. And it was a lot of food at first. Yeah, it was a lot of food. It was like, oh my God, I'm eating so much. I felt like I shouldn't be doing this. I felt there was a lot of emotions with this. There was a lot of, oh my God, can I eat this much? Oh my God, I'm going to gain weight. Oh my God, the scale went up, but then it would go down. And then it would like readjust. And it's like, okay, I finally gave my body what it needed, what it was asking for all along. And I got so much leaner in the process. So again, like I'm 39 years old. I'll be 40 this year. I am like leaner. Like you can look at me on here. Like I'm leaner now than I probably have ever been in my life. And I was a gymnast when I was a kid, but I have more muscle and probably less body fat technically now because I've fixed that nutrition component and I'm lifting weights properly, 3 days a week. That macros reverse diet combo, winning right there. Okay. So that is step 3. And then step 4, this was a major component. This is something that everyone's going to overlook. Everyone's going to gloss over, and you're going to do all this work with like tracking your food, and then it's not going to work because you missed number 4. Okay. Number 4 is your gut. So what her doctor, my client earlier who gained the 40 pounds, what her doctor missed completely as a major root cause of why she was gaining weight was, along with her arthritis and fatigue and just general malaise, she had this rapid weight gain, but her gut was never really looked at. So we ran a functional stool test to figure out what's going on under the hood here. And we found all kinds of microbiome imbalances, gut dysfunction, liver, all kinds of things that we were able to then give her some supplement protocols that actually support those weak links, those missing things, as well as bring down the inflammation. Because that's really the source of your inflammation is inside of your gut, okay? And if it's leaking out because you have leaky gut, which everyone does, that's where systemic inflammation comes from. So if we can bring the inflammation down inside the gut, it brings it down everywhere. People's anxiety and migraines and skin issues all dissipate along with that because we're bringing down inflammation in the source of it, all right? So if you have read all of the blogs, you've done all the videos, you listen to all the fitness gurus out there, and you still feel like I'm at a loss, I don't know why I'm gaining weight, then you might want to consider working with somebody who can help figure out what's your specific root causes. Because, it'd be like me trying to figure out how to fix my broken, refrigerator. That's not going to happen. I'm going to hire a professional for that. Or if the sprinkler system goes, haywire in my yard, I'm probably just going to go hire a professional for that. It's the same thing with your health, with your chronic fatigue, with your gut issues. Hire a professional for this type of thing. It's not something you're probably ever going to be able to figure out on your own. I know I certainly couldn't. If I can't figure out sprinklers, how are you going to figure out your internal body systems, right? So this is where working with somebody like me and my team, we work with a handful of new clients every single month. If you're interested in learning more, I created an entire full masterclass you can watch on how to get past a fat loss plateau. Maybe you've lost some weight before and you hit a plateau, or maybe you can't seem to get past where you are now. you're going to want to watch this video because it's going to break these things down so much more. It's going to tell you what labs we run and how to actually start solving that, especially secret number 1 I share, where we talk more about the macros and the workouts that you can implement. So if that's something you're into, check out the description below. It'll be in there. And then if you have any questions on working with me and my team, head over to Instagram. I'm very friendly. I'm going to respond to every comment, and I'll chat with you individually about what maybe metabolic breaks are on for you, or what issues you might be having under the hood, or maybe are your macros off, or whatever it might be. Let me know what you're struggling with so we can chat about it and figure out a plan or a step forward. Maybe I can give you a resource of some sort. All right, that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and see you next time.